Hey, it's Ubu, and today we're playing the demo for a game called The 18th Attic. It's developed by Steel Creel Studio, and you can find the full game on Steam. I've played one of their games before, The Backrooms 1998, and I had a pretty good time with that. It was a very horror-forward Backrooms game, but it was an alright experience. But I just wanted to check out the demo and just to see what maybe we can expect from the full game, give you a little bit of a demo showcase here, and I'll tell you a little bit about it before we get started. This game is a spin-off prequel for the Stairway 7. The 18th Attic is a psychological horror game inspired by Fatal Frame, where you have to take pictures of ghosts and anomalies with the help of your cat. You can pet your cat in order to restore your sanity. Yes, your pet is also customizable. Now that you know what the game is about, we'll go ahead and hit story mode and see what's up. So, story mode. Alright, story mode is a more relaxed version of the game. You won't be chased around by an entity when you are looking away at some point. This is recommended to get a feel of the game and story. However, if you want something more anxiety-filled with an entity chasing you while you have to take pictures of anomalies, then select Chase Mode. In Chase Mode, entities can rise at some point and try to hunt you down while you have to take pictures of anomalies. You want to start in Story Mode or go back. I think we'll just do Story Mode to showcase, like they said, to get a feel of the game and whatnot, so we'll just hit yes on Story Mode. Look at moths. Press any key. Alright, the game is very loud. Pictures always reveal the truth, strangely enough. There was a photo of me sleeping taken from the corner of my room. I live alone. The camera is my only witness. Okay, photo cartridges in medicine don't count as anomaly. Take if found. Alright, I forgot to adjust some settings, but we're back now. This letterbox, it's kind of extreme, so this is not performing very well. Whoa, look at that. Here's a lighter. You can equip and use your lighter to help you see things a bit more clear in certain dark areas around the house. Cool. Press tab to open your inventory and equip items. Alternatively, you can use 1 or 2 to do something that I couldn't read. Last picture, 1996. Keeps the memory, but costs a photo. Okay. Guess we'll look around some. Be mindful of anomalies. Have you seen an anomaly? When you encounter an anomaly, get close to it and snap a picture with your camera facing the correct direction. This will remove the anomaly. If you do not encounter an anomaly, you may continue without any problems. If you snap a picture for no reason, you will waste a cartridge. An anomaly could be a shadow, a person, flickering lights, something peeking, or things not meant to be there. Anything strange. Do not continue if there is an anomaly, or it will get you. Escape the loop, mind your surroundings, don't let them change. Mind your photo cartridges. If they are empty, you can't catch any anomalies. Remember, photo cartridges and other pickable items, such as medicine, won't count as anomalies. Only environmental changes will count as anomalies. Each picture you take by mistake that is not an anomaly will cost 1 photo cartridge. Be mindful and do not waste them. Gotcha. I'm gonna waste all of them, just to be a rebel. Voice acting. Change your pet name. BB. Alright, cat poster. Examine. Let's read it. Did you know if you pet a cat, it reduces stress level? Interacting with animals has been shown to decrease levels of cortisol, a stress-related hormone, and lower blood pressure. Whenever you are stressed or feeling like losing your sanity, pet a cat. Adopt a cat. Call now. 929-149-481-99. Please pet me, meow. Nice. I have a cat that I named BB, so that's why I named that cat BB. Okay, we just read this. Good to know. I feel like I need VSync on y'all, because, jeez. Alright, I turned VSync on because, man, the screen tearing was pretty bad. We are upstairs. Instant picture camera. Take. You can use your camera and and to take a photo of an anomaly if you suspect one is nearby to remove it. Once equipped, get very close and press some buttons that I can't read fast enough. Each time you take a photo that's not an anomaly, it will use one photo cartridge. Items such as medicine and photo cartridges don't count as anomaly and can be found around. Okay. They really are beating us over the head with that. Don't forget. Let's pet BB. My cat BB doesn't look like this cat, but she's a tuxedo cat. She's black and white. This is a pretty cat. Alright. Anyways, there's also a bird in here. The sun as a lamp. Jeez Louise. Here's some weird photos. Polaroid. I was just thinking about when I played the demo for Pigface. I think that's what it was. Add it to my collection of creepy weird stuff. Radio seems normal, I guess. We can do this. Okay. Wow, look at that lever action rifle. A lever action rifle. Got the iron sights. That's pretty cool. Is it a hunting rifle? Or a musket? That doesn't make sense. So it has a lever action reload, but it also has a hammer. Maybe I don't understand that particular gun. That's okay. I'm not a gun expert. Anyways. Ew. Oh, I see. So we're looping. What am I hearing? Hello? Okay. We have these. So I would imagine this is an anomaly. He wasn't there before, right? Hello, kitty cat. Let's, take a picture of that. Oh. You're telling me this is normal? Why do you have this? That's freaking weird, dude. I assume also I need to, like, look at these photos. I don't know what that one is, but it's kind of creepy looking. Anyways. Obviously, there are a lot of different objects in here. With writing. I assume we need to check the radio every time. In case, like, the devil talks through it or something. I don't know, I guess everything looks normal to me. Let's go up. The light is flickering. Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy one. Oh! I saw a little ghost thing. Uh-oh! This wasn't here before. Be sure to get to as close to the anomaly as you can and always aim at it. Whatever. Okay. This is... Should I take a picture of this? This wasn't here before, right? Very demure. Or whatever. Alright, so we're wasting... I mean, I know it told me to proceed, but... I don't know what's going on. I'm trying. Sprint bars at the top of the screen for some reason. That's sure to squeak. Better cat. Make sure we're good. Keep hearing things. Was that thing there the whole time? Am I crazy? Don't answer that. Maybe it was. don't know. All right. I don't know how obvious these are supposed to be or what, but here's... Oh, his light fell off. Okay, this is an anomaly. It's gotta be. Nice. Somebody named Emily is talking. We're gonna be an amazing father, apparently. I have a feeling something went terribly wrong. Now our wife is haunting us. I'm just guessing. I'm looking for more cartridges, if you're wondering what I'm doing. Because I've wasted a couple, unfortunately. I haven't seen any more cartridges, which is not good. I hear music. Should I look around? I don't know what I'm hearing. Oh, here we go. The TV is creepy. Nice. This voice acting is something. Do not fear, for I am here. Now. Everything seems normal. These... A couple of these look really creepy. Maybe they've always been that way. Like this one in the top left-ish. Second to the top left. Whatever. Let's move on. Alright. I would say the anomalies so far have been pretty obvious. I'm afraid to miss one, but does it really matter? Does it just reset our progress, or... Kind of interesting that we also have health. That's a mirror now. Photos are gone. That's pretty weird. Oh! That was creepy. He was an aspiring photographer. Looks like we're not wasting cartridges or spending them when we get it correct, so... Been sitting on 2 for a while. Oh, this was just the photos missing. That's what it was always on. Okay. Very cool. Hello, cat. Said I could customize my cat. When can I do that? Hello? What was that? What is that big creepy thing? Oh, the trophy's missing. Where is it? We need to find it. Or just take a picture of the missing spot. Or the spot that it's missing from. Can't get back there. I figured maybe if we find it. Hello. Okay, let's just do this. Nice try. Emily's very proud of us for being a photographer, which is great. We apparently accepted his submissions, so now it's official. Official photographer. I don't know what year this is in, but it's like, or maybe it said like 1996. Like, all right, you're a war photographer. Good luck. Maybe that's not so funny, but to me it was. I guess we don't really need that as much as we did back in the day. You know, with satellites and all that. Digital. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just forget it. Everything looks good. Trying to remember. I hear something. There's a lot of ambient noises, like environmental noises just happening. So it might just be that I'm hearing. It sounded like squeaking. Okay, that's normal, I guess. Alright, let's go. What the heck was that? Whoa! Oh my gosh. Well, when I was playing the Backrooms 1998, they did a whole lot of that, so I kind of expected it. Oh, look at the moths. Were those there before? Who's breathing? Is it me? Questions. So many questions. What's happening? Where am I? What's going on? I don't know. Alrighty then. I like the sound of the stairs. I don't know what I keep hearing if it's like... Oh, I lost health from that event. Why? Just noticed that. Can you see anomalies, like, or monsters with this thing? Should I be like this all the time? Scanning room. I don't know. Sorry. Okay. Take a picture of the chair, or where the chair came from. Nice. Stop it, James. Are we James Sunderland? That would not be good. Just walking up to stuff in case it wants to jump out at me and scare me. Okay. Not seeing anything, so I guess we'll move on. Oh. It's medicine. That was pretty creepy. Strike a pose. Excuse me. I'm gonna... Oh, okay. Can I walk around you? What's your problem? They move when I don't look at them? Oh, they do. That's really creepy. That's pretty cool, though. I should have just moved her away from the path, and then I would have been okay. Alright, so we're gonna back up. We're gonna run up the stairs. Oh, that's what that squeak is. Okay. That door closing. Very cool. Don't run at me. I'll defend myself by running away. So far, so good. Where's your other arm? All right. So far, so good. Pretty chill game, I guess. Except when that happens. Jeez Louise, dude. Thank you for playing the demo. You're welcome. Thank you for playing the demo of the 18th Attic. As a solo developer, every bit of support means the world to me. If you enjoyed the demo, please consider adding it to your Steam wishlist. The game is still evolving, and the full version will include an additional mode and much more. For updates, follow us on Twitter at SteelCreel. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great day too. Also, like I said, the full game is out right now, so go check it out. Alright, well, we're back on the main menu where I'll review this demo. I'm going to start with the visuals, and I would say visually the game is okay across the board. It's not going for retro aesthetics. It has its own sort of stylized texture about it, if that makes sense. I like the clutter in the rooms, like all the, the blanket, over the couch like you can see here, the bookshelves and all the things in the room. All that makes the space feel pretty convincing, I would say. It's an attic kind of hangout spot, so has some photos hanging up, a trophy, a radio, some boxes with some papers in them and stuff. So I think visually the game is pretty convincing. It's pretty immersive. I adjusted a couple of settings, so it could probably look a little bit better for you, maybe have a little bit more fidelity, but I think for what I experienced, the visual presentation is totally fine. Now, the monster design, I like the way the mannequin looks. It's very different. It has antlers for some reason, and I think it has like paint across its eyes, so it's like a Nordic sort of style mannequin, I guess. I don't know how else to describe that, but I would say the monster designs in general look new. They're very similar to the Backrooms 1998, like the weird people that just sort of pop up and scream in your face. Now, the big monster that shows up on the stairs must be the thing that maybe chases you in the other version in the chase mode, but which looks like we can't even play that. So visually the monsters, I would say, are pretty scary. They're so quick though that I don't really get a good look at them, which I guess works in its own right and makes them more effective. So pretty cool stuff there. And I would say the way the camera looks pretty cool too. I don't mind it having this sort of vintage filter or whatever you want to call it when you're looking through the camera, and the way it kind of pops the photos out. Very cool stuff there, very authentic. And I think all that works together really well to create a very nice visual experience. Now, in terms of audio is okay across the board. I like the attention to detail with like our footsteps and the creaking of the floorboards and the stairs. You'll hear stuff shuffling and moving around and squeaking in the environment to kind of, keep you on your toes, kind of make you wonder, is that just ambient sound? Is that actually something moving around? So it kind of keeps you guessing a little bit. At least it did for me, and I think that works really well. The big loud jump scare stuff doesn't really affect me all that much. Every once in a while I get caught off guard, but they did that a lot in the Backrooms 1998, and I'm just using that as a reference because of how horror focused it was. And I don't mind the jump scares in this. I like it when they're very subtle as well, where I'm taking a picture of something and it's just a little flash of someone peeking around something, and it's not loud. It's just more motion oriented. And I think mixing that up a little bit helped a lot, because if all of them were just loud, scream in your face sort of events, it would get kind of redundant. So I don't really understand why the big one kept popping up on the stairs, but that probably makes a lot more sense in the full game. But audio across the board is okay. I like the music on the main menu. It sets the tone pretty well. It has an overall pretty solid vibe in general. It's very creepy and eerie, so great job with that. I don't know how I feel about the voice acting, though, because I don't really know what it's necessarily conveying, just sort of maybe what our characters experienced before this event is happening to us, I suppose. Some sort of traumatic event happened to our family, I assume, and that will make a lot more sense of the full game, I'm sure. But the voice acting is just kind of okay in general as well. It kind of took me out of it a little bit because, like I said, it's very under the surface, and I'm not sure it necessarily makes a lot of sense, at least in the demo, so I guess kind of hit or miss in that regard. Overall, though, I would say the audio is pretty good. In terms of mechanics, I like the idea of having this looping hallway scenario, but it's just an attic in this game, and when you move through it, you need to spot the anomalies, take pictures of them, and then the game tells you now you can move on safely and not waste your time or like mess up on accident. It's not so much, I don't think, functioning like the Exit 8 does, where if you miss something, it starts you over. I don't know if it's doing that. And like they said, this being sort of a tie-in to the Staircase 7, we are ascending up a staircase into an attic, I think, rather than going down like you do in that game. If I'm mixing that up, I apologize. But either way, I could see their inspirations shine through from previous games, and I think that's a good thing. It shows that they have a formula that they like and that they're experimenting with, and I think that's always a good thing for the developers to do is stick to your vision, but don't be afraid to experiment just a little bit. See if something falls right into place that you didn't expect, and then you can play with that a little bit more and make it into something much more memorable. But just taking photos of things, I think, is simple yet effective. You never know what's going to happen when you're taking pictures of these anomalies. And I appreciate that taking pictures of the anomalies correctly doesn't waste your cartridges. So you don't just have to constantly hunt for cartridges, but you need to be very careful about wasting them as well. So I appreciate there being sort of a risk reward where you're not really sure of something. Maybe you shouldn't take a picture of it and just maybe move on to the next room and try again. Maybe something will change that you didn't notice before. I'm sure there's an easier way to describe that and what I'm trying to say, but the overall gameplay loop, I think, is fine. So I had a good time with it. I thought it was interesting. I would say the mechanics across the board are good. In terms of story and concept, there's not much to really go on here in the demo, except for just the sort of flashback voice lines that happen between us and our wife, us becoming a photographer officially, and also becoming parents, and I guess she's pregnant, and I guess that leads to something tragic happening. I'm not sure if the photo of this woman here is our wife or something like that. Maybe she's dead now. Something like that. I'm just theorizing. I don't really know. But in demos, I don't think story needs to be all that crazy necessarily. It hooks me in. It made me wonder why I'm here, what our conversations with our wife eventually are going to lead to, and if that is an important part of the overall experience that we're going to have, especially in the full game. So while surface level, I would say the story at least sets up enough intrigue to make me wonder, and I think that's a good thing. So I would say the story is good in that regard. Now, in terms of the concept, I like the concept of the game. I like games where you take pictures of stuff. I've done that in a few games that end up being pretty enjoyable in general, and I like the idea of when you just take the flash, you don't know what you're going to see there, you know, leaning into like paranormal investigation sort of ideas, and I like that stuff. So I like the idea of going around, it being an anomaly hunt game. Throwing in a camera mechanic, I think, works pretty well, mixes it up a little bit, at least from what I've experienced in games like this, so pretty solid concept across the board. Now, in terms of performance and settings, the game performed fine. I had to adjust a couple of settings. I think without VSync and stuff, it struggles a little bit. There's some hitching and some frame drops and stuff like that, but I think it eventually smoothed out for me where I didn't notice anything like that the more we played the game, but early on, I had to make sure I had to adjust a few things to get an appropriate performance out of it. And I can tell my computer is kind of straining a little bit. It's getting a little hot playing this game, even with adjusting the settings a little bit. So maybe you can fine tune that a little bit. Maybe they already have in the full game. This is just based on my experience here. So take it with a grain of salt. Now, in terms of settings, I like to go over this. And like I said, these things could be different in the full game. So always keep this in mind while we're going over this. And then so we have your languages here, which are, you know, pretty expansive. Yeah, look at all those. Bunch of languages here. And then your controller, you have mouse and keyboard as your controller default. I don't think there's controller support for this game. I think this would pretty much answer that question if you were curious. You have your game volume, which is just a slider. I wish there were different options for like master volume, music volume and like jump scare volume and stuff like that, I think that would be a welcome addition. And then for mouse sensitivity, you also have a slider here, and then you can invert your vertical look only, not horizontal. So that's interesting. And for your graphics, you have your resolution, you have your screen mode, you have your game quality, which is custom at the moment because I jumped down a couple of these or dropped down a couple of these. You have your anti-aliasing on high by default, and then your texture quality and your shadow quality are on ultra and then high. I bumped those down a little bit because my computer was struggling. So you also have your shadow distance. I guess this is maybe your draw distance or maybe more of like ambient occlusion or something, which just determines the darkness of objects the closer they are to each other. I believe that's how that works. And then you have vertical sync, which I've enabled, and then ambient occlusion, which is right here at the bottom. So never mind. Okay, so that has nothing to do with shadow distance. So maybe just like the depth of shadows or something. That's just an odd option. So yeah, I believe ambient occlusion or occlusion, I always say occlusion. It determines the darkness of something the closer two things are to each other. I believe that's what I've heard described. So I'm probably butchering that, but anyways, pretty decent options here for the graphics. I appreciate these. And for your controls, you have all of these, which you can rebind. So that's good to see. You have move up, move down, left, right, crouch, prone. I didn't even realize we could prone. And then run, zoom, fire, reload, so maybe we could pick that gun up eventually. Use, examine, lean left, lean right, use item 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, and inventory. Nice, a lot of options here to adjust to your liking, so that's pretty cool. So I would say these settings are acceptable. I wish there were more specific audio settings there, but like I said, that could be in the full game. I'm not sure. And it might be weird to some people that I'm playing a demo for a game that's already out, but I just really enjoy playing demos. And like I said, I just wanted to showcase what you could potentially experience in the full game itself. And I don't know, I think it's cool to give people a little bit of a idea of certain games and why I think demos are so important to play and to share with everyone. So I hope that's okay that I'm checking this out even after the release of the full game. Anyways, my final judgment for the 18th Attic demo is I would say it's good. I had a pretty good experience with it overall. I don't mind the visuals or the audio or the mechanics all that much. I think some of the jump scares are just kind of okay in general. Just the overall vibe of the game is really strong though. The performance is a little muddy in my experience. It could be fine-tuned obviously through the settings, which I appreciate, but I still think it could be fine-tuned just a little bit. And the story, I think, gets me intrigued enough, and I think that's a good thing. Conceptually, the game is really solid as well, and I think the settings are pretty solid, but I wish there were a little bit more options regarding the audio in the game. Overall, a decent experience. I wish maybe it had a little bit more punch to it in the atmosphere side of things. Like, it has good atmosphere, but I think I needed something a little bit more to draw me in, and the voice acting didn't really help that much. But that's just my opinion. But overall, I would say it's still a pretty solid experience. But anyways, to the developer, I wish them the best of luck on their future endeavors and their work. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this game? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you have anything to add? You just want to say hi? Let me know what's up. Don't forget to check the pinned comment below for the links to everything and go play this game for yourself and form your own opinion. And if you'd like to support my channel, hit subscribe, leave a like, comment, and share the video. I'd greatly appreciate that. And thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I think that's all I have to say about it. So thanks for hanging out with me. And don't forget,
The pale moth is always watching.